Reformed Anime Hub.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Reformed Anime Hub. Today I'm joined in the studio with two guests, aka other hosts. Immediately to the left of me is my son, Mateo.
Hello everyone.
And somewhere in cyber world, probably Oregon somewhere, is Trouble, aka David Benjamin. How you doing, Dave?
Hey brother, I'm doing well. As always, Reformed Anime Hub. It's your favorite host, David Benjamin.
See, start trouble already. Why can't I be the favorite host?
I mean, you're the regular host, so I'm the guest favorite.
Wow, I'd be mad, Tail. He's saying he's the favorite.
Well, I'm co-host, right?
Oh, see, there we go.
Trouble. You know his nickname is Trouble, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. There's something you need to know about David that some people in the hub know.
What about him?
He does not like Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, yeah.
That is okay. It's not that I don't like Cowboy Bebop. It's just that
I don't want to. No, don't try to defend yourself, bro. I've heard you loud and clear several times. Even on our previous. You want me to pull up the other audio where you're saying it? You know, on the other podcast. Or we could just look through the records of the Anime Hub, you know.
I think the listeners have heard me rant about it before, so we can spare them from that.
Yeah. So, Teo, tell them what's up.
Well, I can't really tell him what's up because I've only seen half of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my gosh.
I've only gotten to the Jupiter Jazz part.
Ooh, Jupiter Jazz.
And it's really good. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not quite sure his reasons for not liking it, and I don't really want him to tell me because it might be spoilers.
Oh, so, yeah. He says
sure, we can always come back and discuss it too. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think he says something about he'd rather watch paint dry.
Ooh.
I've never said that. Although it sounds like it has more of a story. But anyway, continue on.
Oh, that's messed up. All right, let's. It is very possible that as we record this podcast, Dave may be called off to war. At least that's what he said. Is that right?
Well, technically, I mean, we've all been called to duty, Ramon. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Did you say Call of Duty? This isn't a video game podcast.
Call to duty.
Is that your reco, Call of Duty?
No, please. I discourage people from playing that game.
Just messing. But what was your little rant there?
I was just saying, we've all been called to duty, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Soldiers. Onward, Christian soldiers.
There we go, see?
Yeah. So, how's your week been?
It's been a very great week, thankfully.
Yeah?
I'm in my second to last semester before I finish my undergraduate degree. This past week has been like a very good break after the first 3 weeks of school. So.
Nice. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your Good Pastor videos?
Sure. I'm in the actual class is called Public Speaking for Purposes of Ministry. But we call
and
school,
podcasting.
Sorry?
Your class, it's for public speaking and podcasting.
Sure, that's true. Public speaking for the purposes of ministry, but we call it the preaching class. One of the assignments that I have for that class is to make a 11-part video series about something specific over the next 11 weeks. I've done the first 3 weeks already, so there's only 7 left, but I guess eight left since it's 11 weeks. But so this week I'll have episode 4 coming out, and basically my theme that I chose for my series would be like the 10 things that every pastor should, every pastor needs, but I guess the theme and the idea is that every pastor should possess or work on improving in order to succeed in being a pastor and or go into pastoral ministry.
And where can people check this out?
It is youtube.com/DavyB. Under high request, I was asked to change my name to Davy B.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Two AKAs.
Yep.
I like Trouble myself. It's very fitting.
Well, our friend of the hub, Luke Kelly, has always called me Davy B when we played online, and he suggested that I make that a more permanent official name.
Yeah.
So
now Luke is from Alaska, right?
He is from Alaska, yes.
Yeah. Did you know I got to meet him?
At the ReformCon?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that he... see, that's what I'm saying. I mentioned this last time. I had no idea what this ReformCon was. No one mentioned it to me. No one said anything to me. Wow. And all I know is that I missed out.
Yeah, you totally missed out, man.
But yeah, so anyways, that's one of my current weekly projects, so...
Okay. And so let me move on to Teo here. Teo, how was your week? What you been up to?
Like a lot of other people my age, just been doing lots of school, especially for this past week because realized how actually close I am to finishing up and start studying for my GED or high school diploma. So I've really been working hard on schoolwork.
Yes, he has.
I actually even really been watching that much anime.
Boo! I caught. He started. I think 2 podcasts ago. He was one of his recos was ReZero, and I've actually started watching it myself. Fantastic piece of morsel there. Like to devour all the time.
Yeah, I'm not even caught up.
Yeah, he's not caught up. I've passed him. And
oh wow!
So episode 15 looms in the horizon for you. You got to watch 15. Like, quick.
I'm on 14 first.
You know, 14?
Yeah.
And Dave, how are you doing with ReZero?
So, I have access to it, but I have yet to begin it.
Oh, I gotcha. You're going to love it. It's going to be one of your favorites. I think I can safely say that. It's one of my favorites already.
That's what everyone in the group has been saying, so I'm looking forward to it.
So, Teo, what else?
What else? Well... My driving's getting a bit better. I mean, I plan to be taking on one of the driving classes soon. Then hopefully aim for my license after that.
Yeah. All right. And okay. Me, I've just been working, being tired all the time, getting caught up on some anime. Nothing major right now. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like my week is boring. It's not. It's full of... work. I enjoy work. I like going to work as opposed to some other people. But I enjoy my job. The week's been fulfilling, but there's no... I guess the only thing I can say is I started jogging.
Yes.
And I've been losing... I lost like 5 pounds already. You know, controlling what I eat and started jogging, you know, getting in shape for the Lord. All right, so let's move on to... What do you guys say?
I think we can go right into Hunter, so that at least we get to actually talk about it.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's get right into Hunter.
Each podcast will cover an arc of Hunter. So we're going to be covering the first arc of Hunter today. Hunter x Hunter. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
Okay, so to clarify, we are in the spoiler territory now.
This is going to be spoiler discussion.
Alright, Hunter x Hunter. Easily one of my favorite anime. And the way I came across it is when I got back into anime from a long hiatus, I devoured Attack on Titans, I devoured Death Note, and I was just hungry for this new anime. So I just started Googling, like, you know, top 10, top 20 best anime and stuff like that. And I think I saw Hunter on Netflix, and I saw it had good reviews, so I started watching it. It seemed kind of kiddish at first, but there was something tenderness about the lead character. I'll go ahead and talk about him right now. His name is Gon, and I don't remember his last name. Freaks? Yeah. Gon Freaks. The story is based on Gon Freaks, and he is a child, I don't know, 13-ish, maybe 14, 15, around that age. Yeah, and I think
he was 13 when he started.
Yeah, maybe 13 when he started. And he wants to be a hunter. Now, a hunter in this world, this universe, they carry a level of celebrity / prestige in that society. And the reason he wants to become a hunter is because his father is a hunter. And he really loves his father. But the thing is, when he was, I don't know how old, maybe an infant, can't exactly remember, his father left to go hunt. There's still a lot of questions about why he left him. In my book, maybe it'll be revealed later on, and if the manga writer decides to come back from his hiatus. He's been absent for a while, but yeah, Gon, he wants to be a hunter, and I believe he wears like these green shorts, right?
Yeah,
he's got the green shorts. He's got some black hair. His weapon for the first part of the show is he has a fishing rod, which he's a master at it, like kung fu master with that thing. So his mom, is it his mom or his aunt? His aunt. He lives with his aunt, and he tells his aunt that he wants to be a hunter, and he wants to go find his dad. And she said, I'll let you do that if you can capture this mythological fish. It's not really mythological. It's just there's a lot of legends about this fish, and I guess his aunt didn't expect him to capture it, because nobody's ever been able to capture it. And here's this little 13-year-old in his cute little fishing rod. He goes out to fish, and he captures it. So when that happens, then he begins his journey to find his father and to become a hunter. When he begins to when he starts his journey, what are some of the first things he starts to do?
Well, that was pretty much the first episode, but later on he basically goes on his journey, his boat ride to become a hunter, and he meets two of the other main characters that you'll see throughout the series, one named Leo Rio and the other named Kurapika. And they meet on the boat. They didn't like each other at first, but then they come to work together because this hunter exam is going to be pretty tough. So they're all used to balance each other out to get each other through the hunter's exam, because Leo Rio is not very smart, but he has a goal in his head that he wishes to accomplish, just like everyone else. So we're brought to after the boat, and there's a scene on the boat that is just awesome. The interaction between Leorio and Karapika, which is classic. Oh yeah, where they keep fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karapika is all about fighting, becoming a hunter for honor, and avenging his clan. And Leorio is all about it in for the money.
Yeah. Well, so tell us what happens when they get off the boat.
Okay. After they get off the boat, they start heading to the next part where they think that they can get into these hunter exams. So they come across a field, and eventually I think they get up a mountain or something, and they meet an old lady, and she asks them this question that they were supposed to answer, or rather not answer in the first place.
Yeah.
The question was, you can only save your mother and your lover. Who do you save? And Leo Rio
flips out.
Yeah, he flips out.
He's like, what kind of question is that?
Yeah, he doesn't like this question, and he's getting really frustrated, and this is where he actually grabs like a pipe and goes to smack the lady. But Kurapika ends up like pointing it out that there's not supposed to be an answer. The answer is silence. So once he figures that out, they actually get that right, and they continue to go into the next area. But one interesting little tidbit about that part was Gon, although they had already technically passed to get into the next part, Gon was still thinking about the question.
Yeah.
It's like, but who would I save? If only given the option.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of special about Gon. That's what the writer tries to make him feel like. Remind you that he's the main character, and he's still young, and there are many things he needs to learn.
Yes, he's very unique that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the second part of the exam. Do you want to talk about the third part?
I'll let Dave do that.
Man, now you're really drawing out my memory here.
They go to
a cabin.
They go to a cabin.
They see a dead body.
Okay, so to clarify, we are in the spoiler territory now.
Yeah, it's spoilers. So
well, that's what you said you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to do like a non-spoiler section and then delve into the spoiler section, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. I just heard Redeemed Otaku's podcast about they're doing SOA, and the whole podcast was spoilers, but they told you up front, so. For those people who may not want to get into this, how many episode anime?
148.
140 episode anime, and would like to know what it's all about and all that, well, you can listen to this podcast and know, and get the spoilers. So,
I mean, you could just watch it. It's really good.
Yeah. If you don't want any spoilers, you pause this podcast and go watch the 140 episodes, and then come back to the podcast.
I guarantee you, it flies by really fast.
Yeah.
To clarify, I still have not watched all 148 episodes, so when they say really fast, it's relative.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure by the time we get to the last arc, you should be caught up if it's available to you.
All right, so
I'm definitely going to be caught up by that time. It's not like I'm not super far behind. It's just I'm like on episode 105 or whatever. So yeah, I'll definitely be caught up by that time.
Oh, he's still in the Chimera Ant arc.
Yeah,
I am. Yeah, I'm still in the Chimera Ant.
Great arc.
Okay. So you want me to talk about the cabin part?
Yeah. And then after the cabin part, I guess you can jump in there, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. Cabin part. It's just cool part.
Cabin part, just really quick. It's an exam on kind of being able to notice things, or to notice things that are out of place. Because they show up, they show up to, like, I think the cabin that they think they can rest at, and they go in, they find an injured couple, and this is kind of Kurapika's time to shine, where he shows his intuition and his really ability to notice stuff that's out of place.
He's very alert.
Yeah, very alert person. So they meet they see an injured body. Leo Rio, being actually a doctor, it goes to tend to his wounds, and this is basically where he says there's a monster that's hit him, and you gotta find him. And so eventually they find the monster.
Yes.
Gon, this is where it shows Gon's skill with using the fishing rod as a weapon. Chasing down the monster, managed to take him out, which is extremely hard to do. That think they mentioned that was hard to do. So he managed to do that, and once they do that, and they find out this monster is actually part of the exam, and they go back to the cabin, and they realize the injured person was also a monster itself, that they can disguise themselves of humans.
Yeah.
And the whole point, there was a bunch of stuff with Kurapika actually noticing these things. I'm really kind of hazy on the details in that part, but it just basically wants to convey that Kurapika is a very smart person.
Yeah. And there's a little aha moment there.
Yeah.
For the watcher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically that part, once that part's over, they get taken away by the monsters to go to the next area for the exams, to another city.
Now, I just noticed that, and I don't know how important this is for the podcast. Can one of you two just quickly describe what Kurapika looks like?
I definitely managed that part. So he basically looks like a Super Saiyan. No. I'm trying to think about who he would compare to, but most definitely he has blonde hair, blue eyes, wears some kind of like tribal outfit.
Poncho.
It looks like a poncho.
Yeah.
It's what is it?
That's how he's introduced, though.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much how he looks. What about
Leorio?
Leorio?
That's super easy. Basically, imagine a guy who only works out his shoulders and nothing else and does cardio. And
he's like a lawyer with a suitcase.
He's in a suit with a suitcase. Yep, that's basically who he
He
is.
change that outfit.
No, he never changed that outfit.
Yeah. Like Kurapika gets a costume change later on.
Yeah.
Gon kind of does.
Yeah. I gotta say, just right now off the bat, Leorio is one of my favorite characters. I mean, at first he seems kind of like you said, dumb or like, tunnel vision, mean, out for himself and greedy and all that. But you really learn that he's really got a big heart, and he really cares about injustice and things like that.
See, the thing is, I don't quite remember when they actually get to telling his true reasons behind why he wants to become a hunter.
Oh, I think that's in the that's after. What's that? It's not York New. I think they're in that
York
one.
New.
In York New arc.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's when
I don't know
find
why
out.
we should mention that because it's kind of an important part about his character.
It's out there now.
Right. Well, I just edited it out. It's a conversation here.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Honestly, I can't. Okay, so I don't remember why he wants to be a hunter beyond just becoming a doctor.
There was another reason. It had to do with his past when he was a kid.
Oh, okay.
All right, so if you're listening to this podcast and you're like super curious, you're gonna have to listen to the other podcast to find out.
Or just watch the anime.
Or just watch the anime. Yeah, even better. All right, so do you want me to jumpstart your memory, or can you take it from there, Dave?
So, okay, I'm trying to remember the hunter exam. I don't remember you guys mentioning, because the way that I remember the hunter exam starting was that they had to follow the really fast guy.
Yeah, that's the next part after the cabin part.
Yes. Are you there?
Oh, we lost him.
We lost him.
Oh, wait, no, he's there.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, you just cut out, so any very valuable information you just shared with us was never recorded. So.
Yeah, I just revealed Dawn wasn't actually the main character, but...
Oh, no! Shh! Ultra spoiler!
No, I was saying that what I remember of the hunter exam, I don't know if you guys touched on this, because I didn't hear you guys say anything, but the way that it started was that there was this funny guy with really long legs who was leading him through the tunnel, right? And he leads him to this place with the mist.
Yeah, that's the next part after what I just explained.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect. So apparently I missed out on... Apparently I forgot the entire first phase of the test.
Yeah, because the episode actually really starts picking up right there where you're talking about. Because right there is where we're introduced to the fourth main character and some of the villains.
Right. Well, questionable villains at least.
Yes.
Kind of like anti-heroes.
Spoiler alert.
Anti-heroes, yeah.
Yeah. So basically the next stage is they find this guy who doesn't have a mouth, but he still talks. But in place of his mouth, he has a mustache that moves. And he looks very similar to Leorio as far as wearing a suit. And anyway, so he tells them that he'll take them to the next stage of the hunter examination, so they just have to keep up and follow him. And they start out like in a tunnel sort of area.
They are in some restaurant, and it goes down to this secret area where the tunnel is.
So from there, so everyone thinks it's going to be relatively easy. Like, we just have to follow some guy to the next stage. To not give you too many spoilers here, that basically lasts about 4 episodes. So,
does it?
Yeah, it was pretty long.
I thought it was only like 2.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4.
Man.
Yeah.
But basically, they're following him for a few episodes before they even get to the next stage, which is supposed to be... And it turns out that was actually stage 2 of the hunter examination. So it was keeping up with him through his jog.
Now, I want to just touch on one of my, weird kind of characters that I really like a lot, and he wasn't in there enough for me. He's kind of the he brings in kind of the humor into it. In fact, when this character appears, he has his own theme music, and it's like this goofy theme music.
Right, yeah.
No, you're thinking Hizuka.
Oh no, I'm talking
about Tompa.
Oh,
is that his name, Tompa?
How did you remember that?
Oh, I remember Tompa. He's awesome.
He's such a low villain, though.
Yeah, he's an insignificant villain. But okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Tompa. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah, that's his name. Like you said it, I can't believe you remember that.
So Tompa he's taken the exam like 50 times, and he doesn't really care about passing it. He gets his jolly. He's really sick. He's sick in the head. He gets his jolly off of knocking people from the exam. So that's
Rookie Crusher.
Yeah, he's the Rookie Crusher. So, and the way he does that is, he's got one of his classic moves is, for the newcomers, he offers them a nice, tasty beverage for them to welcome them, to the Hunter games. And it turns out that it's these tasty beverages are laxatives, and they just completely put you out of commission for what you have to do next in the exams. Anybody want to add to Tompa?
That's basically all you got to know about this guy.
Yeah, like I said, when he appears, he has his own sound. Theme song is like a doom, doom, doom.
Which, it's kind of weird if you think about it. This guy, he doesn't look very fit at all.
No.
But the thing is, he's been through this lots of times. And you think at this point, because you actually can die in the Hunter exams, you think that from doing it so long, he may have gotten caught in something.
Right.
That he couldn't get out of, but right. I don't know.
And he's actually killed people.
Yeah.
He's led people to their deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's definitely dangerous. All right, sorry. Go ahead, continue, Dave. I just want I wanted to throw Tompa in there.
Yeah, shout out to him. That's not the last time you see him throughout the entire show. So
yeah, pretty much.
He does have a special appearance later on.
Yeah, he makes a little appearance.
Yeah,
later on when
somebody tries to go get their Hunter exam,
he just makes there first. It's a little cameo.
And isn't he in the tower too? Not the battle arena tower, but that cylinder tower.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's in that too. Yeah.
I think that's stage 3 of the Hunter exam. So
yeah. Okay,
stage 4, but yeah. Anyway, so then he leads them to this next place where they have to follow him through the mist. In those couple episodes where they're doing that, you end up meeting probably the most memorable character in the show, in my opinion, who basically looks like an evil clown jester.
Yes. he's the anime Joker.
Yes, basically. And he has the most funniest lines in the entire show.
Yes, he does.
Because they're so misplaced.
Yep. And he has theme music too.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Hisoka, and basically he's the guy who we're joking about as far as being like the anti-villain or anti-hero. Like, as far as where I'm at in the show, it's not clear as if he's a pure villain or not, but
he definitely does bad things.
Yes, questionable things. I don't know about that, but. Yes,
he's a bit of a perv and a sadist. Let's just say it. He's a bit of a perv and he's a sadist.
Yeah. Anyway, so then that eventually that specific part of the exam actually takes out like I think 85 or 90% of the candidates, because they either started fighting themselves or they couldn't keep up and they basically lost in that part of the exam.
And there is a candidate who rides a skateboard.
Yes, there is a candidate who has a skateboard, who I really don't care about, but...
What? This dude's bad! Go ahead.
No. I think the reasons why I don't like him is because he's like the Sasuke of this show.
Okay, break that down. Tell us how is he this?
So, if you don't know who Sasuke is, shame on you. You should have been watching Naruto your entire life so far.
This guy, he's recommended Naruto. What he's like, nah, Cowboy Bebop? Nah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's up with that?
At least Naruto has an overall story. Anyways, we don't have to talk about Cowboy Bebop all the time. Anyways, so for those who are not familiar with Naruto, there's this anti-hero, anti-villain character who's basically the main character of the show in this weird way, and his name is Sasuke. But he has back to Hunter x Hunter character. The reason why I relate them is because they have a very similar attitude of like being better than everyone else. That no one else has a chance to beat them type of attitude. And so,
yeah, I mean, this guy fights with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, exactly. And credit credit to him. I mean, he does.
He's too cool.
He is strong. He's not. Yeah, and I'm not saying that he's weak or that he doesn't deserve to have his, I guess, recognition. But he's just not my favorite character because I tend to not like the characters who are like too cool. If that makes any sense.
I can understand you like to see some flaw in your character to make him realistic, but he does have them though.
Yeah, his flaw is pride.
No, I mean the whole thing with his family. Wait, he hasn't gone to her yet.
Hasn't.
You know what I'm talking about,
don't
right?
Say anything.
Okay, you need to finish the last episode because he lightens up.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of know what's happening because of where I'm at. They've already revealed a lot of stuff. So since you said her, I kind of know who you're talking about now, but it's fine.
Don't lead him on too much.
No.
But yeah, like I see what you're saying about Kiowa. But the thing is, like,
I think that we just mentioned his name for the first time.
Yeah.
Kiowa.
Basically, the point of this character is kind of to have someone to relate with Gon, because Kurapika's a bit older than Gon, Leorio's a bit older than Gon. I mean, they have an entire joke about his age later on, but Kiowa's there to kind of balance out and to put Gon to the test, and they can rise up together as becoming hunters.
Right. So,
and Gon balances out Kiowa with his cool attitude, but he also gives them like a lighten up mood type thing.
What I picked up on their friendship is kind of like the friendship between in the Bible with King David and what was his name?
Jonathan.
And Jonathan. How they loved each other so much and they cared so much about each other's family. Yeah. So yeah, they balance each other out. One's very aggressive, one's very kind, and they keep each other in line with that.
Let's say what do you got to say about? Let's just let David here continue.
Yeah, continue.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you're doing a great job adding the things that I tend to overlook. But yeah, so Kilo was introduced, Hisoka's introduced. There's another character in this area, or this part of the show that's also introduced, that does make a return appearance later on. I don't remember his name, but he is one of the people who passes the Hunter examination. Spoiler alert.
What does he look like?
He's got the pins in his head.
Are you talking about Pinhead?
No, I mean, I wasn't talking about him, but he also...
Yeah,
he's throughout the entire show.
He's like shaking and...
I can't remember his name.
Okay, so who are you talking about?
I was talking about the short kid who later we find out his power is with, like, he can use his fingers as a bow and arrow.
I'm just saying this out. He dies in the Chimera ant part.
Now let's talk about major spoilers. 4 arcs in advance. No, I already know that, but I'm talking about for the listeners.
I said I'm going to edit that part out.
Oh, I thought you were revealing a spoiler today.
Oh, no.
Because I don't know how far he is in the Chimera ants.
Yeah, he was shooting. He made his nen shoot arrows. He's a very forgettable character.
That's. Wait, is that when we're at the tower already?
He's been out through the entire exam. He's been in.
Yeah, he's there for the entire exam.
I forget what he looked like.
Didn't he have like a beanie or something?
Yeah, I want to say he has a turban, but I don't know.
The turban type thing.
We don't remember his name?
I do not.
He was a very forgettable character, though. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's not a character by any means.
Okay, all right. Continue.
So yeah, in this part of the show, in this specific arc, and the specific part of the exam, there's just a lot of characters that are introduced that are going to be return characters throughout the entire show. And so it's definitely like a traditional introduction to the show type of season. because there's just a bunch of characters that are thrown at you, and there's a lot of, I would say, comedy that's even involved here.
Yeah,
between Hisoka and between Leoria.
Yeah, it cracks me up.
But yeah.
All right, so are you still with us?
I am still with you. Are you still with me?
Yes. Okay. They all jog
through the fog,
through the tunnel, the fog. Then finally, they enter another part of the exam where I don't know. It's like Hell's Kitchen, or it's,
it is a cooking contest to say the least.
Yes. I can't really remember much what happens in that part. Maybe you guys can help me. It's very vague to me.
I can explain it. I remember.
Yeah.
So basically, they're brought to this part where after they do all this jogging, they gotta cook. And they're like, "What? We gotta cook? We're hunters. We gotta fight." But it turns out you find that hunters can be many things. They can be hunters. They can be fishers. They don't necessarily have to be just trained killers.
Right.
But you could be like a hunter. Pretty much being a hunter gives you permission to anything. But anyways, they want the chef hunters want them to cook. They want them to go in the wild, kill some hogs, and make a really good sandwich.
Yeah. And who sucked at it? Who was like terrible at it? Leonia?
That's the thing. Everybody was terrible at it.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, the thing with her is they got the taste right, most of them. There was two examiners, the girl and the fat guy. Uh-huh. And the fat guy, he said like, "Oh, I like it every time." The girl was like, "It sucks every time."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So even when we get to our heroes, when they have their burger, one of the girls also the girl also gives them a wrong choice. So they're very confused. Like, no one passed here. They said, "Oh, you all fail." Uh-huh. But then to turn it around, that's when hunter examiners from like a blimp above come down and say like, "Hey, give them another chance. Make them do something else, because disqualifying them all here doesn't seem fair, especially since like they didn't know quite what they were doing wrong." So what they were doing wrong in the first place was they didn't have any originality to their burgers. They were all just the same. They tasted good, but they didn't have a good presentation. So, and
I think the writer of Hunter x Hunter, when he wrote this arc or this part of the arc, he must have been watching Hell's Kitchen or something like that.
Yeah. But so since they couldn't do that, they decide we'll make them do something else for this part of the exam, and that's when they take them to the tower part. Oh no, not the tower. No. They take them to the canyon, and they gotta get the eggs.
Yes, the eggs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, that is very vague in my mind. The whole when they jump off this cliff, this canyon,
yeah,
and they have to retrieve an egg,
yeah,
and bring it back up, right?
Yeah.
I think a couple people died doing that, right?
A couple people actually died in this part.
Yeah.
They thought that they could drop down on they could grab an egg, and then like something will bring them back up, but it wasn't quite like that. There was always a gust of wind from the canyon.
That's right.
That had to bring them up, so they had to time it just right.
Yes.
To grab the egg, like from a web, and then they get back up.
You remember that part, Dave?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing too big. We don't have to go into huge detail about it. Nothing's much learned on this part, other than you meet the president of the hunters.
That's right.
The very old man.
Yes. Which is really, really cool, old man.
Yes.
He's like a master hunter.
Yes.
And then I think we get to one of my favorite parts, which is this tower. You guys remember the tower?
Yep.
I do, yeah.
Do you want to talk about this part, Dan?
I'll let Dave do it.
Yeah. So they get in this tower, and basically they have to spend. The first part of the test is to figure out how do you get into the tower. They're given, I think, like 24 or 36 hours, something like that, to complete the tower. And the beginning of the test requires them to figure out how to get into the tower. They start at the very top and have to work their way to the bottom.
Yes.
Of the entire tower. So that was interesting right in the beginning.
Yeah, I think they shift some boards or something to to get into or something.
Some of the platforms are, like inter-reversible, where you can fall through them and whatnot. So there's a situation like that they have to solve. That, and then for the most part, most of the hunters actually waste, I think, like 20 hours or something like that, figuring out how to do that.
Right.
But beyond that, basically, so after someone figured out that they have to go into they have to find random floorboards which are openable, turnable. They have to create, basically, every floorboard is different to a certain degree, but they have to create a team for Gohan's solvers, I guess, when they figure out how to get into the tower. So they have to spend time.
Well, when they open the, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Okay.
I was thought you guys pull up or something.
No, we're here. So when you open these floorboards, or I think 2 fall in at a time, they all fall down into these rooms, and there's only 2 together, right?
Yeah,
they're paired up.
Like, I think the thing was, like, they found a board that actually pushed down, and they're like, okay, you 2 of you got on this side, 2 of you get on that side, and they do that, and they fall in, except they brought them into separate rooms.
Right. And this is where Tompa comes in again. And he's up to his mischievous behavior.
I can't believe you remember this guy, because I didn't even remember he was in the same room as them.
Dude, I love Tompa. Walked around with the stash, bag full of goodies, laxatives, X-Lax.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in the tower, and they got to make their way, and eventually they meet up all together in the tower, and they're put in a scenario where I think they have to compete.
Yes.
One-on-one.
Yeah. Oh, did we mention what this tower was?
No, not in detail.
That it's a prison?
Oh, yeah. Tell us about the... Yeah, we didn't say that. Okay, so the tower is a prison.
Okay, this is kind of an important part about it.
Right, because the prisoners are coming up.
Yes, this tower is a prison, and these are the most dangerous criminals you can think of, other than a few others. Basically, really powerful. They have entire life sentences in this giant tower.
Right.
And for this part, they go through some other trials in this part, but none that are super memorable to me. But the most memorable part is when they meet the other prisoners. And since there's 5 of them competing against 5 prisoners, and they gotta beat them in whatever contest the prisoner brings up, whether it be a fight to the death, whether it be a fight of wits, whether it be
brute strength.
Yeah, brute strength. Like a thumb war, a candle, whoever's candle goes out faster.
Right, things like that.
Stuff like that.
It's very, very cool the way they did it.
It's a very memorable scene. It's also quite humorous when you see some of the people like Gon, how he deals with it, or Leorio or Kurapika, seeing him fight.
And I think Dompa was there too, right?
Dompa was there, and he gave up.
Yeah,
right when he got
because he wanted them to fail.
He wanted them to fail.
Yeah.
He's like, let me do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I give up. And so that kind of goes on, but the main highlight of this part is Kiowa's fight.
Yes.
Since we have not, up to this point, we have not seen Kiowa fight at all, so we don't quite know what he can do. We know he's really cool, and that he's you can tell he's very much so superior in strength and stuff like that, but we never really see him fight until this part, where he has to fight the most dangerous criminal in this entire prison. And this criminal is known for killing families. When he first steps up, he grabs a chunk of the wall and breaks it off to show his strength. So basically they're like, well, the only other person to compete with is Kiowa. So they're getting really scared for him. And basically during this fight,
hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
So my mom just got home. I'm gonna put my mic on mute. I'm still here. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Keep going over it.
I think we'll stop with Hunter until you get back.
Well, I can explain the scene and then he can get back.
Yeah, you can explain the scene. I'm only gonna be gone 1 or 2 minutes. I have to say hi to her and make sure everything's okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Where was I? All right.
Okay. So he's fighting this. Killua is fighting this really strong dude.
So basically, he's about to fight him. This man is very intimidating. You could basically tell this guy has killed lots of people, and that this is where the show itself starts to introduce its more darker parts of its story, the more serious parts. Because up to this point, it's been
It's a kid show.
very whimsical.
It's Pokemon.
I mean, not quite Pokemon, because there was still blood in the third episode,
Right.
So it kind of, you got that. It still aims at that kind of stuff,
Right.
But this is where it could start really heavy when he's about to fight Kiowa, and then before he can even get a move out, it's a zoom in on his face, and all of a sudden is something happens, and he doesn't know what happens, and as the viewer, you don't know what happens either, and it kind of pans. He kind of looks over because Kiowa wasn't there anymore. He did this thing where he like phased into visible, and then he wasn't anymore.
Yes.
And he saw he was behind him, and he looked behind him, and something wasn't right about him. And he was holding a heart. And he's like, "Why is he holding a heart?"
Yep.
And he looks down, and he realized his heart was taken by Kiowa.
Yep. Very.
Kiowa stuck his hand, because he has this thing with his nails, or he gets really sharp. He stuck his hand into his chest, took out his heart, and that was game over.
Yeah, that was the
In
very
one move.
memorable part.
That was the main part to introduce. Like, Kiowa's a killer. He's dangerous, and it sets the mood that, like, whoa. That's the first time you'll actually go be set back in the show and just go, that was crazy.
Right. And we also, it's also revealing not only for Killua but Keropika too. That's where we learn about his red eyes.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we also learn that Keropika wants to become a hunter because he's on a mission of vengeance.
Yeah, he wants to avenge his clan that's been murdered by a group of criminals.
Right, and these criminals, I forget their name, but
Called the
Spider Group?
Spider Venom or something.
something like that. But in any case, one of the prisoners has the tattoo of one of the members of this gang. So
Yeah,
Keropika lights up when he sees him.
Yeah. He fights the blue dude, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight this guy," and he tries to be all intimidating.
Yeah.
And he shows his tattoo.
Yeah.
And that tattoo is known around the entire city. That's a killer group. That is a group not to be messed with.
Right.
And that's where he kind of goes insane and beats the crap out of this guy.
Right.
Because this guy, it turns out to be a poser. He wasn't at all in this gang.
Yeah, he just had like a sticker.
Yeah.
It was like a fake tattoo.
Yeah. So he gets beat up.
So eventually, that was the most memorable part about the prison tower. So eventually, they get out of the tower, and I see your back. So they're done with the tower, and I think there's two more parts of this arc before the arc ends, and there's the next part is they get to play a game where they have to take each other's tags. The tags have numbers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that, David?
Sure. Basically, they're playing elimination, and you have. I think each person has to collect 15 tags, and there's only like a total of like 100 people left, and so only X number of people are going to make it.
Well, no, there was only like 30 people left, and they had to get 3 badges.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm messing up that story there.
So they all got to get 3 badges.
Yeah.
And so they're like all in the forest hunting for each other. And there's a really cool moment here because you get to see, what Hisoka can do, right? They reveal more of his powers and abilities.
They do it in the fog part.
Yeah. They show it a little bit in the fog. That's when they learn to fear him and stay away from him, right? So Gon is determined to get Hisoka's badge, right? Or the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, but this is kind of a growth part for Gon, because this is where he starts learning about hunting, how to hunt.
Right.
Because remember, he starts trying to aim better with his fishing pole and trying to hit something.
Right.
And he does get better.
Right. He starts practicing.
Yeah. But what do you think? I could talk a bit about my memorable parts, but is there any memorable parts you want to talk about first, David?
I mean, if we're going to talk about the thing between him and Hisoka, you can definitely do that. I remember that part pretty extensively.
Yeah.
And then I
Why don't you
remember
talk about that part. That'd be.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, Gon has to because Hisoka is such a different level of power compared to him. and Gon somehow is able to realize that and determine that. He decides that he's going to wait for the perfect opportune moment to do that, to try to get the badge from him. What he was practicing before that to get his confidence up was basically he was using his fishing rod to try to snatch. I think he was just using birds, right?
Yeah, it was that's what I thought. I think it's a bird.
Yeah, so he was just making sure that he could get in the blind spot of the bird to get it with the fishing rod. And then once he was finally able to accomplish that over a few, I guess, hours of time, he felt confident enough to do that.
Oh, wait. The fishing rod. He felt confident enough. That's where he needs to come back when he comes back. Hey, you there? You cut out. Oh, no.
Lost.
Oh, no.
All right, you're back.
I am back. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. So you were saying after several times of practicing getting in the blind spot of the bird,
You felt confident enough to, and that's where you cut off.
Yeah, so he wanted to make sure he was able to do it. So basically the remainder of the hunt of the examination, he stalks Hisoka until the perfect opportunity presents itself, which ends up being someone else or Hisoka finding his target. And so during that fight, that's when Gon finds, in his mind, the perfect time to get Hisoka's badge from him. And it worked out in the sense that he was able to finally get the badge. As we discover, Hisoka truly is a different, complete level than what Gon is, as far as pure ability.
Yeah, the show does a really great job at power levels. I know that sounds like a very Dragon Ball thing to say, but you can tell the difference in strength between characters very easily.
Well, let's call it what it is. Nen levels.
Well, we haven't been introduced to Nen yet.
Okay.
At this point, we don't even know what that is.
Right, you don't even know, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you in the fact that the show starts to introduce that these characters are on a completely different level than our main characters.
Which does really good for character development. I mean, you see this real cute, innocent guy, you see this like real dangerous guy, and this innocent guy, he's just determined to beat Hisoka, and he finally does. But you find out that in this game, you could just take the badge back if you want to. You know, if you're capable of it.
Yeah.
You know, so he gets it back, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Let's let David say that part.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Gon is like all excited that he's finally been able to get the badge from Hisoka. He's basically making his way as far away as he possibly can, as fast as he can. And then what ends up happening is Hisoka comes out of nowhere and knocks Gon out. Or knocks him down at least. He's not unconscious yet, but... Oh, no, sorry. I am missing something there. So someone who was supposed to be after Gon's badge shows up. And then he's the one who... I think he knocks Gon out.
He paralyzes him so he can't move.
Okay, yeah. And then what ends up happening, oddly enough, is Hisoka takes that guy out.
Yeah, and I think Hisoka ends up giving his badge to Gon, right? Voluntarily?
Yes.
Yeah, you say it.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, basically Hisoka voluntarily gives the badge back to him because he feels that Gon will be a challenge in the future.
Yeah.
And he's turned on by that.
That's the thing about that we find super disturbing about Hisoka is that the only reason he could have killed Gon right there, then and there, and it would have been okay. But he wanted him to live for the sole purpose of that he may be a tough fight in the future to kill him.
Yeah. And that says a lot about a character.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you right now because I want to kill you when it's hard to kill you. You know?
Right, exactly. So then that's where we get the taste and power of Hisoka really right there. It's that he is powerful enough to where he could have ended it right there and then, and the show would be about something else. But he chose because, obviously for his own selfish gains, because he I guess the right word is that when you use remote, he gets turned on by...
Oh, he totally turns on. You hear it in his voice. He's like, like, whoa.
Hold on. I think for all the listeners, you need to do that again with pure silence around.
Yeah, no, hold on. I'm going to cut that part out, and I'm going to play it like 10 times in a loop at the end or at the beginning of the podcast.
Wow, they'd be like, is this for kids? Is this for, who can listen to this podcast?
Anyone who's a reformed anime person.
Yeah, I did a horrible impression, by the way, listeners.
I would say it's pretty accurate. I mean, unless you want like some voice actor who's been training to do that, but
right, the best you can get here. All right, so after this whole, a select few again gets chosen after this exam, and they enter the final part of the exam.
A lot of people get taken out here. I forget how many people make it.
A lot have been taken out.
Yeah.
I think there's only like 8 left or something.
But all you've got to pretty much know is Hisoka and all the main characters so far have made it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this final exam will give them their hunter license. Which, when I was watching this, I was like, how can they achieve the hunter license and then you still got all these other episodes to go? I thought the whole anime was going to be about eventually they achieve it, and at the end they get their license. But right away, in the first arc, some of them get their license.
Yeah, but anyone want to talk about this last exam?
I will render it to any of you two.
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
The thing is, I'm having a hard time remembering who Gon was up against first.
Okay.
Who was he up against?
He was this real mean dude, real tough dude. I think he had a crew cut, or he was bald. I can't remember. But he was vicious with Gon. He was the
ninja guy.
The ninja guy, yeah. He was letting him have it.
Oh, yeah. All right, so now that I know that.
The relatable character would be from Bleach. I don't know if you guys have watched that at all, but the bald guy in Bleach, basically, is how I would describe the ninja guy as well.
Okay.
So, I guess I could talk about this part again.
Yeah,
This is another duel scene.
Yeah.
This is basically just duels.
Yeah, that's how they achieve their badge here. They're going to fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the rules actually get it. You didn't have to be the final... Because not only one... Because this was a duel, like a tournament mode type thing. Someone gets eliminated, then he goes up to the next battler.
Right.
Except you only had to win once, I think it was.
Something like that. I can't remember.
And then you could get your hunter. You're guaranteed to have it. So the very first fight is Gon versus another guy that we've been seeing throughout far, who is also a very skilled person in this exam. And this is also where it shows the more that Gon is still, although smart, fast, very brave character. You haven't really seen him do much strength-wise in a 1v1 battle.
Right.
And it shows him fighting this part, and he's getting absolutely destroyed by this guy. This guy showing no mercy to Gon. But the main point that this scene wants to capture for everyone is that Gon, very much like any other main character in a shonen series you'll see, does not give up.
He's determined.
He's determined because his purpose is he wants to become a hunter. So
and he wants to be with his dad.
Yeah. So basically, long story short, it is a very violent scene. Not too violent.
I thought it was very violent.
Yeah,
this is a grown man beating a child.
Yeah, but not too much blood is spilt. It's just more like his head smacking into the floor and stuff.
You can tell he's in pain though.
Yeah, and eventually, Gon gets KO'd, and we're like, oh no, Gon can't be a hunter, and that's sad. But we find out the ninja guy. He says that he wants him. He wants him to get it anyways. Like he said, he'll forfeit or something like that.
Yeah. Because he liked the spirit that he had, the fighting spirit that he had.
So Gon is out for this entire time.
He passes out.
Yeah, he passes out.
Yeah.
This entire exam, he doesn't know what happens until the very end, where he wakes up from his knockout and he finds out he's a hunter. And he's like, "Oh, sweet, but I got knocked out." He's like, "Oh yeah, the dude said you could still have it because he forfeited." And that's where we find out that all our guys except Kiowa got their hunter license. And he's like, "Well, why didn't Kiowa get it?" It's because he disobeyed the rule of that in this duel you can't kill anyone. And Kiowa got very upset with one of the other examinees that were there. We mentioned Pinhead Guy. We found out Pinhead Guy is actually Kiowa's brother in disguise.
Correct.
And Kiowa doesn't like his bigger brother because he was very mean to him.
Right.
And he said he was weak. And so basically...
He abused him.
Yeah, he abused him. So basically, Kiowa, in his round, gets very frustrated, and he goes into this kind of rage, like a fury mode, where he just doesn't care about it anymore. And he ends up killing his competitor. And so therefore, he got disqualified.
Does anybody remember how Leorio won?
Leorio, he won because he was about to fight, and the dude he was about to fight was like, "I don't want to fight this guy. I'll win. He's not being a challenge." So he got in purely because it was he's lucky because he got who he's paired up against.
Oh man, I mean, and then if you look at like maybe a little bit of spoiler for you, David, but not too much. Leorio, when it comes to the last arc, that's like it's amazing. He just got in, he just got his license, and then look where he ends up.
Yeah,
later on down the line in the show. All right, so I believe that completes the arc, right?
Yeah, that completes this arc. I mean, it leaves off though, since Gon was very sad that Kiowa did not get his license. He's like, "Well, where did he go?" And they said that he probably went back home, which is in a mountain. And they're like, "Okay, well, we'll go find them." And they decide that the main people you've seen so far, Kirapika, Gon, and Leorio, all form up together because they all have a common goal together, and they think that they can help improve all each other if they were to go together for just a little bit. So they all decide to go see Kiowa.
Yeah, because he did pass the exam.
Because he didn't pass the exam, and they want to meet him again.
Right, and then you get to learn that Kiowa's family is a family of assassins.
Yeah, but that's the next arc, is the Kiowa Mountain.
Right, so final words for this arc. It's very well written, the way the characters are developed and the way the action is laid out, before the viewer. You got some really lovable characters like any good writing should have, and then you have these awkward villains. I've always said, and a lot of people say that the best kind of villains are the kind of villains that I think they're doing right. But in this case, Hizuka is a unique type of villain. I mean,
like he knows it's not right.
He knows. He knows.
He just does it because it feels good to him.
Yeah, because right. He's very. He's kind of chaotic. Like I said, he's like the Joker of anime. Yeah. Just kind of anarchistic.
You say what you think of about it, David.
About Hisoka or
about the arc.
About the first arc.
Like last words about the arc.
Sure. I think, in honest opinion, I think it's very much like any other shonen that you would watch. It's an introductory arc that's just, I think it's meant to introduce you to the world and to the characters. Not to say that's the bad thing at all, but that's simply what the first arc is.
Yep.
I gotta. Well, are you finished?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good. I would recommend watching the show. Yeah.
All right. So, for my final words about this arc is. Like my dad said, I agree with a lot of the points he had, and same thing with David. It's a great introductory part to it. You meet all your characters. You're introduced to certain levels of strength in each one, and you could see humor, and they even tease a lot of the very dark parts in the future that you'll see throughout the story. But you always got to remember, it's still going to have its whimsical moments because of its characters and their interactions.
Yeah. And another thing about it's very unpredictable.
Yes.
It's hard to pin what's going to happen.
I could not, I really did not understand. I couldn't guess pretty much anything. unless like I had a good idea where the arc was going.
And then when
But
you
I
guessed,
had-
it was with the twist or something.
Yeah, and I had no clue that they were going to get their hunter's exam so fast. If it was so fast in the first arc, I think it only took 25 episodes, 26,
Yeah.
which isn't long. Like 12 episodes in a 20-minute episode for a 20-minute episode is only 4 hours.
Yeah.
So you could really just binge watch the first arc in one day.
Yeah. I think we did that at first, and then we started every night. We started watching.
Yeah, but then we also binged it, like the Reed Island arc.
Yeah. So that's going to close us out for Hunter x Hunter, at least this arc. This is the first review of the first arc. Next episode, we will review the second arc. So everybody say bye. Bye, everybody. And we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. Bye.
Bye.
Have you ever wanted to see a world where cool hair is normalized and people with huge eyes are a common sight? Welcome to anime, you scrub. If you thought anime was just kiddie cartoons, you were wrong. This is a place with many filler episodes, canon to destroy your ships, sad days.
Don't leave me! Father!
Action days. And Baka days. And we're here to talk about it. Reformed Anime Hub.
Okay, we are back. And I hope you liked that review of Hunter x Hunter. We're going to move on to another portion of the show. It's called What's on the Slab? Okay, and today on the portion of What's on the Slab, we're going to review or talk about some anime that we have been watching. Okay?
I know I said I was busy this week, but I still watched some anime.
What did you watch? Okay, anyway, hold on. I'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, so I'll start with you, Dave, and then I'll go, and then Teo will go. So when I say what's on the slab, I'm saying, what have you been dealing with as far as anime goes? Dave, what's on the slab?
So, I think I watch too much anime sometimes, so I'm not always like 100% sure on what I've watched most recently. But I know the show that I watched, I guess, most recently is Lagrange. Not sure if you guys have heard of that at all.
What is it?
Lagrange.
Lagrange, as in
It's on Netflix.
Lagrange?
No, it's Lagrange, the Flower of Renee. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So I've been watching that. There seems like there's 2 seasons of it, so there's like 24 episodes in total.
What's the premise?
And it's kind of like a mech alien type of show. So the main character is a female. Who's in high school, and things happen. She's basically like a chosen warrior to pilot a specific type of, I'm going to say Gundam. That's not what they are, but a specific type of Gundam.
Mix.
It's like they're apparently like mythological mechs. So there's only 3 of them, and she's one of the chosen 3 pilots to pilot the show. And basically, there's like some intergalactic like politic issues that are going on. There's 2 different like Earth who are trying to take the mythological mechs.
Okay.
So a little bit of that's been going on.
And how long is this anime?
According to Netflix, they only have the season 1 and 2, and each season is about 12 episodes.
Okay.
So it seems like it's 24 episodes in total.
And how fairly new is this anime?
I am not sure on the release date. I'm watching it dubbed, so it's pretty relevant. It says 2012 on Netflix. So,
And I take it the dub is pretty good because you're still watching it.
well, so here's what ended up happening is that, and people are like, oh, I can't do anything else if I'm not like that. People don't want to dedicate the time to sit there and watch the anime show and have to read the subtitles. And so the way that I'm able to, they don't want to sit there and have to dedicate the time to actually read the subtitles.
Right.
On dubs or subs. Sorry. So for me recently, because Netflix has this habit of whenever I'm in the middle of a show, they remove it. So apparently
Oh yeah.
Because apparently I don't watch fast enough, or there's just too much stuff going on in life. So I've made it a habit now that every day when I go to bed, I just watch one episode of the anime show, of a anime show on Netflix every night. So I watch it on my tablet that way.
Right on.
And if for whatever reason, if I have subs in Japanese dialect, I start falling asleep faster. So I'm having to actually do something while I lay in bed.
That's right.
So I decided to watch dubs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place in my anime watching for dubs, and mainly it falls into the category of, I'd really want to watch this. I just don't have the time to concentrate on the subs, so I'll just watch it dubbed. So, yeah, I understand.
Sure. Yeah, and basically that's what it is. And so I watch it I watch one episode a night, and so it usually takes me about a month to go through a series on Netflix. And so I've been watching that. Last night I had some friends over, and the way we've been doing it is that Netflix, if you're not aware, doesn't have all the episodes of Naruto, and they themselves have never watched Naruto. Oh yeah, it's on Crunchyroll, definitely.
Oh yeah.
And so what I've been doing is that I have them watch a season of Naruto, and then I have all the Naruto movies. And so every season they finish on Netflix, we watch one of the Naruto movies. So last night I watched the third Naruto movie.
The Naruto movies are not canon except for the last one.
Yes, that's true. But here's why I don't agree with the whole skip the fillers section and just watch the canon stuff, is that every few years, right, there's a new Naruto movie, or there's a new Dragon Ball Z movie, or there's a new One Piece movie, and millions of people go and watch that, and they pay money to go watch those things, right?
Yeah.
But none of that stuff is canon. None of that is part of the actual story of what's going on.
Yeah.
So then how can people say skip the fillers? You're literally paying to go watch a filler at that point for an hour and a half usually. So
if it's not canon, it's filler, right?
Exactly.
That's one reason to go watch movies. I'm not saying don't watch them. I'm just saying you don't technically have to watch them.
So who told you guys that the last movie is canon?
I know this because I looked online.
Oh, I see.
I've been trying to figure out, because I've been watching Naruto, and I watched the entire first season, and then I watched a lot of the filler, and I didn't know I was watching filler.
I'm going to tell you right now, Teo, there's no such thing as filler in Naruto. All of it is good to watch. Okay?
He said there's no such thing as filler.
Actually, we've talked about this on a previous podcast, but go ahead. No, what were you saying? Okay. All right, let me set this up. This battle here between the both of you. Okay, so Dave is for there is no such thing as fillers, and Teo's confused. It's like, how is there no fillers? Go, David.
So, like I just gave you the case, if you're gonna go watch one of the movies on any numerous amount of anime shows, then you're watching filler. Shows, they're hypocrites. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
It's a difference. Because it doesn't have a consistent storyline. It's just stories about dudes. Those episodes accomplishes a more of a relationship between these characters. And in Naruto, since it's so lengthy, it's kind of like, yeah, I already have a connection and I already know the connection to these characters. It's kind of, at this point, just, you don't have to watch them. Now, I'm not saying I'm against fillers. If you want to watch them, that's fine, but I'm not saying you have to.
Oh, I don't think that anyone has to do anything, but if you're going to watch Naruto, it's better just to watch all of it.
That's hardcore right there. That's a purist right there.
Yeah. And no, like I said, my thing is that I hate when people talk about fillers, because like you said, you have no problem with watching a show without a consistent story as long as it's building the relationship with the characters. And to me, I would say that in any shonen show, that is the case. You're getting a deeper relationship with all of the characters. You're learning stuff about different characters that you wouldn't normally know about because they're not in the canon.
Like the thing is, a good comparison. We just talked about Hunter. Hunter does not have a single filler episode.
True.
It also hasn't had an episode in 4 years, but
wait, that's not fair. Yeah. That's not fair. See, he's doing that on purpose. He's a troublemaker.
No, but the point is,
it's Hunter, the truth, right? Hunter, the original writer for Hunter, right? The show is 20 years old now. The manga is 20 years old. Okay, he wrote the manga. They made an anime show 15 years ago. Right? Yes. And then just 5 years back, they remade the anime show because they were hoping that he was going to pick up the manga again. Yes. And the anime was on pause again.
Right.
So I mean, that can be the case, right? I'm not saying that Hunter x Hunter is bad at all. I'm simply saying that like you can have that to where you don't have any story for years, right? And you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for a new episode of the anime, or you're waiting for a new chapter of the manga.
That. It's just a cash grab.
What is fillers?
Filler. They're not even fully produced to the point where it's like a good episode, because fillers, anime is a process. Each episode, animation, it takes like an hour to do a second, stuff like that. And with fillers, there's not much production put into it, so it's kind of just this half-done type episode.
Oh man!
It just kind of has a silly subject to it.
All right, ding, 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 ding. Battle's over. Good punches here and there. All right.
At least the listeners have been able to hear a little bit of both sides. So that's important.
Correct. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what's on the slab for me. I've been trying to get caught up on my ReZero. I've enjoyed it immensely. That anime, I don't. In my heart and in my mind, I think that's going to be a classic down the line.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
it's super well done. I have not gotten to episode 15, and that's the one everyone talks about. Even if it gets better further on, which is hard to believe, because
it's hard to believe.
So steak.
Yes,
it's super good. It's out of all this stuff that we've been getting in the past seasons that have been rather like, it was okay to watch. I mean, the last good thing, like in my mind, the last super enjoyable thing to watch where I was like, this is super good, was One Punch Man.
Right.
I know One Punch Man and ReZero very different. Like, one's humor, one's drama.
Right.
But still, it's excellently written in its own parts.
It's creative. It's like whoever put this together, they really got together to do this right.
Yes, because this genre has been done so many times and it's been failed so many times.
Oh yeah.
Someone going back in the past, or trying to change the past, stuff like that, or being brought into a different dimension, to a fantasy-like dimension. It's been done sort of online.
Yeah, I mean, Live, Die, what's it called? Live, Die, Repeat. Live Again? Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, that was a manga.
Yeah.
Or same concept.
That one was pretty good.
Yes.
That's what I've heard. But stuff that tries to accomplish this and does do a great job at it, for example, like, I know it's very mixed. Erased is go you boogie. I mean, it's kind of like that, but like Erased fails in the compartment of mystery.
Oh yeah, and ReZero is loaded with it.
Yes,
I mean, I'm in the 15th episode and I don't know what's going on, but I want to know what's going on, and a lot has been revealed.
So that's why this is so good to watch. It was been. I think it's Kyoto Animation that's doing it. They're doing an amazing job at doing this, because the level of animation you see when points get intense, you can see just by looking at their expression that there's no words needed, there's no inner dialogue needed for.
It's work of art. It's pretty.
All you gotta do is look, and you can see the level of stress, the level of desperation in the character, and it accomplishes what it wants to accomplish extremely well.
It's well executed. So yeah, I've been watching that and trying to get caught up, and I predict it'll be a classic. I've been watching that. I've also, speaking of dubs, David, Troublemaker, I've been watching Wolf's Rain dubbed. I started watching that with my daughter. Or like on the 6th or 7th episode, and I really like it. You can tell the animation's a little older, but I love the intro song. It's so cool. It's in English. And
English or English?
English. It's English. No, I think it's English. It's not English.
If it's English, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind either. But yeah, it's English, and it's just like it's got the character developments. I guess that's what makes the story, is the character development, because you got this the bad dude, right? The real cool guy, and he's tough. You got that guy, and he's always negative. You know, he's like, oh, look at this dump we've been in. Oh, this is. Yeah, he's like that, but at the same time, he's an honorable character, very strong character. And then you have the leader guy. For those who don't know, Wolf Rain is about these people. I guess they're werewolves. It's more like they're people who turn into wolves. They're not like a monster wolf. They turn into a wolf. I don't know if that makes any sense. Because a werewolf is a monster that looks like a wolf, but it's like an overgrown wolf. Yeah. But these people they turn into wolves. In fact, their original form is wolf. They only turn into people in order to blend in with people. Because in the story, wolves are extinct. They're not supposed to be around. Have you seen this anime, Dave?
Oh, Ramon, you have no idea. It's one of my favorite shows. I actually own it. So.
Oh, okay. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yes,
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to hear some stuff from David
on Wolf's Rain.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Yeah, what do you think, man? I like it a lot.
So I don't want to give you any sort of spoilers because I hate spoilers. Number one, but the show is really well done. What ends up happening, however, is it loses its traction. So, and I'm not going to tell you anything about what that means, but the show is really good. I haven't watched it in English, so I don't know what it's like, but I watched it in Japanese like 3 times. I actually watched it earlier this year with a couple of my friends who are in the Reformed Anime group as well.
Yeah, yeah. What is the name of the guy with the scar? That's who I'm talking about, the real bad dude.
Sume?
Yeah, I think Sume, right, Sume.
I've heard of this. I've never seen it before.
Yeah. So I got that on the slab. I also got Silver Spoon on the slab. Trying to get through that. I'm watching that one with my wife. We both love it a lot. And that's the anime where I learned that chicken eggs come out of the anus.
Hold on. The more scientific name is the cloaca.
Okay, the cloaca is where the poop comes out, and it's also where the egg comes out from. Okay, now I looked this up on the internet. So actually, the poop has its tunnel organ, whatever.
I can tell you, I study birds.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
When a bird eats, it goes into its crop where it's then stored, and then once it's done, kind of mushing up in the crop. Because birds don't have teeth.
Right.
And once it's done mushing up in the crop, it goes down the esophagus into, I think it's called, where it's then kind of more chewed, and then it's sent into the stomach where it digests. Then it travels through the intestines and out the cloaca.
Right, and so, but the egg comes from a different area, different organ.
Yeah. The birds produce sexually, so. Of course, the egg needs to be fertilized.
Right.
Once fertilized by the sperm, then it starts to grow into an egg, and the egg then travels through some.
Okay.
And then out the
I just want to add that based upon our Sokomones earlier, and now this, whoever's listening to this episode is definitely going to be considering what age their kids can listen to it.
Oh, that's right, huh?
Hey, I was giving them a science lesson.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. For all the homeschoolers, listen to the Reformed Anime Hub. So that was Teo, the Reformed Anime Hub ornithologist. I don't know if ornithologists study the organ instead of birds, but I know they watch birds or they study birds somehow. Maybe I'm misusing the word. Maybe mispronouncing it too.
That's every bird.
Yeah. So let me continue. Oh wait, every bird produces the egg like that?
Yeah. Penguins.
Nice. Okay, so let's see, what else have I been watching? I've been trying to catch up on my JoJo too, because I want to get to the newest.
What episode are you on?
I think I got to. It's the one after. They go on the ship and JoJo punches the shark. He goes, "Ah!" What's that shout he does? He's "Hoorah! Hoorah!" He hits the shark.
Oh, yeah.
He punches the shark.
The stand on the,
Yeah.
Dave, have you seen JoJo?
I have not seen JoJo yet.
That is a must see. I think that I could tell from your liking of anime. This is action packed. Oh yeah, it doesn't have fillers.
Wait! I thought
are you sure I'm gonna like it?
It is super good. You would absolutely love it.
But are you sure? I mean, without fillers, I don't know.
He wants his fillers. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people get turned off by this anime because of the art. It looks older, but that's on purpose.
You think that at first, you're like, oh no, maybe the art's a bit weird, because that's what I thought at first. But when you watch the first episode,
1 or 2, yeah,
then you'd be like, this art is actually really well done.
Yes.
It's done by David Productions. Extremely true to the manga.
Right. So I've been watching that, and just the the Otaku USA magazine, I found out, you learned that the producer or the creator of JoJo, his favorite artist is Prince.
Hirohiko Araki.
Yeah, Hirohiko Araki's favorite artist is Prince. So I thought that was cool because I'm a big Prince fan myself. He's a very creative musician. So I think that's it for what is on the slab for me. Teo, what's on the slab for you?
Not much, but I do have a couple things. Not too long ago, I've been trying to watch the kind of, as they would call it, the trinity of romance in the anime series.
What the heck?
What?
What are you talking about?
Basically, the very highly acclaimed series in the romance genre of anime, and that is Air, Canon, and Clanad. I've got one down, which is Canon. I'm watching Air, and Clanad's going to be my last one because I hear that one's the best.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are characters related in those three?
No, these are completely different series, but they are produced by the same studio, Key Studios.
Because a lot of times when I hear those three, Your Lie in April gets thrown into that.
I've seen Your Lie in April, but
it's different.
They're very different. It's not done by Key Productions. They're all based off of visual novels.
Yeah.
It's a very popular genre in Japan, not so much in America.
What's the difference between a visual novel and a manga?
A visual novel is on your computer, and you play through and you click your options of dialogue as you see these characters.
Right.
And you can go down certain routes, and the whole point about it is saving and going back and going through different routes.
That sounds really awesome if you have a tablet.
Yeah, they do make them on tablets in Japan. They haven't really made a huge impact in America as much as they have in Japan.
Okay.
But either way, they're all based off of visual novels, and the one of them I watched, Canon, is about a high school boy who is going from his hometown to go into a school with his cousin, because I think it's like higher education or something. So he's going there with his cousin and her mom, and he went here a lot as a kid, and he has a past with this city, and he hasn't been there in a while. But the thing about it is this guy, his name is Yuichi, he doesn't feel nostalgic about the city at all, which he finds kind of weird, and he can't really remember much about it. So it's a supernatural, which I really enjoy in these kind of series. It's a supernatural drama.
Yes, there's romance in there.
And romance isn't like the main key point of it. I mean, it's in the end, but
it's shonen.
Yeah, it's shonen.
Okay.
I mean, it's aimed towards that genre. It can be for guys and girls.
Okay.
So, that's basically it. He doesn't feel nostalgic about it, and he's trying to figure out why he doesn't. And then later on, they introduce certain characters, and he starts to remember them after a while, but he can only remember fragments.
Okay.
And I really like it right now, or I really liked it, and the ending was super good because everything came together. It felt like it didn't feel like its side plots were just there to be there, because they all come back to the very end. And stuff starts going down, and he starts remembering stuff, and it gets really good at the end.
So it has a lot of feels.
I mean, it does, because you really feel for this guy. That's why that's one of the main kind of where the genre can fall out, is if the main character, he could just be very generic or very boring to watch. But this character, Yuichi, done by one of my favorite voice actors in the Japanese voice acting genre. His name is Tomokazu. Yeah.
And what other stuff has he done?
He's done. He does Gintama, or he's in Gintama. He's the main character, Gintoki, the dude with the blue hair. He's also the second JoJo, Joseph Joestar.
Oh, he's a good JoJo. Yeah.
So he's one of my personal favorite voice actors, playing the character of this main guy. So you can already tell, you got to get a good voice actor for these characters, and just make their dialogue funny. Or not, it doesn't even have to be funny, but that's kind of like where it also gets a lot of its humors from the main character and his interactions with the other people.
Right.
So I finished that.
Clanad I gotta watch Clanad. That's on my queue.
That is what I'm gonna watch, but I'm gonna watch Air first, which is the other one. I've heard lots of good stuff. I'm only halfway through, It's only 12. Oh yeah, canon was 24 episodes. Air's 12 episodes.
Oh, that's good.
I'm almost halfway through Air. I'm at episode 5, and it's once again a supernatural mystery drama romance. I mean, I hate to put so many categories on one anime because that might be like that might commit it to one thing. But trust me, it's when I put that into when I put things in genre, take it very light because they're all very unique. It's not like all romances are the same or all these are the same.
Okay,
because this one is very different from canon, although it does take where it still kind of has the same skeleton, if you will. The guy comes to a new city and he's not in school. Actually, that's where it makes it different. The guy's not actually a school student. He's a grown man. He can drink. He's of the age to drink, and he's out of school.
Sake.
Yeah. So he's come to the school in search for a girl that his mother was looking for before his mother passed, and he does that. Since he's traveling all over the place looking for this girl, he's got to make money somehow. So since he has this special power that his mother had that's descended through him, where he can control any kind of puppet. So he has this cute little puppet that he tries to get money off of.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, this one is a bit lighter on the romance side. Because so far there's not really a romantic interest for this main guy. Because one, all the girls that he meets are high school girls, and he's kind of a bit older.
Okay, so you're actually watching this one too, or
yeah, I'm canon, Air, and I'm gonna watch Clannad after I finish Air.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
I did watch the first episode of Clannad. It was really good, but I was like, this is probably gonna be the best one, so I'm gonna save the
best for last. So what else have you been watching?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really want to catch up with the new stuff out for this season, like ReZero.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be stuck on new stuff because there's still so many older series I need to go back and watch.
Yep.
Like I still need to finish Cowboy Bebop. I need to watch.
You can skip Cowboy Bebop. It's fine.
With the roasts over here. But I need to finish this one also. I got through the first season of Owari no Seraph, and I was like, "It's pretty good." I'm gonna watch the second season. Never got around to it. Got to finish it. There's so many series I want to finish before I want to start getting on the new stuff again. But that's why it's really hard to balance out because I hear ReZero is really good and I want to get back into it and just I don't have time because of this so much school I've been having, or I've been playing a game that I've been addicted to. So,
which game is that?
I'm still playing Overwatch.
Oh, I knew. Oh, you're still on Overwatch.
Yeah.
Okay, so this concludes the what's on the Slab portion of the Reformed Anime Hub. I just want to this is kind of like an announcement on the Reformed Anime Hub. I created a poll for recos for because I think Dave, you were saying that every time new people join the hub, they're always asking for recos. So my solution to that, after consulting other people in the group, was just to make a poll, and then people just throw in their recos in there, and anytime anybody asks for it, just pin it to the top, and then everybody can see what people's recommendations are. And it's kind of a good idea because you could see which ones are recommended more than others because people click on what they're voting for. Yep. Just wanted to throw out that. Have you found that to be helpful, or does that kind of cover what you wanted to do in the hub there?
It definitely is a great addition. My only thing is I don't know if it's still pinned to the top.
I unpinned it to pin the community watch.
Okay.
And so, anytime anybody asks for it, I could just search it and then repin it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's probably like the best solution. Just because, not that I have a problem with making recommendations. As you can tell, I'm very opinionated. But it's just like every 2 weeks, someone's in there. And I'm like, hey, what do you guys recommend? And so rather than having to provide them with a list, rather than having to everyone go in there and recommend the same 20 shows every 2 weeks,
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. So this way, I mean, if I see a notice on it, somebody asking for recos, I think I'm going to pin it today. Wait, what's today? What's today?
the...
Yeah, I think I'll pin it today or tomorrow, and just leave it up there until the community watch, and then I'll put the community watch on the pin. The community watch, by the way, has been amazing. I've also been watching. I didn't mention it, but it's Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, I still need to catch up on.
Oh man, that thing is it's a treat. The animation is definitely eye candy there. Have you been watching Mob Psycho?
I haven't, and I really need to.
And that's another one that, like ReZero, it just keeps getting better. Yeah, it's a totally different kind of anime.
Like I said, the last one I super enjoyed was One Punch Man, made by the creator One, and this one, Mob Psycho 100, made by the same creator One. So it's no surprise that this is really good.
And just to throw this out there, I think the season 2 of One Punch Man is coming out at the end of this year.
I've heard that.
Yeah, definitely. I think posted it somewhere. So that there's that for the recos. The recos in the hub anyway, on Facebook. I was trying to get to something. Got what I was going to say. Okay. Now we've reached the portion of our recos. Okay, and it doesn't have to be anime. It's just something that you're really into right now. Right now, I've seen Star Trek Next Generation, but I've been watching it, again with Teo, and I just want to recommend. Star Trek Next Generation. Well, we can co-recommend it.
Oh, I could get something else really quick.
Oh, okay, but that is like a masterpiece show. It's awesome. We're one episode away from finishing season 3, and I mean we've been introduced to the cutest, but we just got to that part, and man, I seen it a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Wrong show. We're talking about Star Trek, not Star Wars. But yeah, watching it again, the characters you just know the way Data is, and you know the way Worf is, and you know the way these characters are in Star Trek. And so when they get introduced to like certain situations, and then you see their character react to that situation, it's just classic. Yeah. It's awesome. Like a couple episodes ago, Worf was in the bar, and he was introduced to this new drink. It's prune juice. He tastes it, and he says, "Oh, warrior juice."
He's like, "This is amazing." It's like, it's prune juice. He's like, warrior's drink.
Yeah, warrior's drink. The prune juice. So you got a lot of that in there. So yeah, and Jordy is amazing. That's my reco. It's an older one, but definitely an awesome one. Star Trek Next Generation. Any other recos? I started watching Fear of the Walking Dead. It takes a while to get into, but I am enjoying it. I'm like 4 episodes in. So that's definitely a good show so far. Can't wait for the next Walking Dead. Who do you think they kill?
Oh, why are you rooting for the listeners? They don't even know what's going on, potentially. I do. I'm just saying that you're like, oh, I don't want spoilers, and here you go.
Wait. No, it's not a spoiler. I'll tell you why this is not a spoiler. Because we know that in The Walking Dead, somebody's always dying. Some cast, guy is dying. So when I say, who do you think is going to die... It could be anything, so it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
It sounds like a spoiler because you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why.
Yeah, I have no clue. It's probably going to be something big.
Yeah,
everyone's going to be mad about.
Do you think they're going to try something silly?
If it's not something big, it's going to be really small.
Yeah. Think other recos. What else? I've been watching this show with my wife. It's kind of funny. It's called, I think, Supermarket Cloud 9 or something like that.
Cloud 9.
Well, that's the name. It's supposed to be like a show about like if you worked at Walmart, but they can't say Walmart, so they call it Cloud 9. The name of the store is called Cloud 9, and I think it's called Superstore or something like that. Yeah, I've been watching that. That's pretty funny. I think I watched Sully, the movie. It's a Tom Hanks movie. It's based on a true story. Clint Eastwood made it. It's an okay movie. My wife liked it a lot more than I did. You will enjoy it if you watch it, but I think that's it for my recos.
How about we go to David's?
Dave, what are your recos? It's going to be a video game. I'm sure it's going to be a video game or something he purchased or something. Some great purchase he had or something.
I'll recommend everyone keep their backlogs and finances in mind. And I mean it in all sincerity, okay?
Okay.
But let me think. So actually there's this book that I want to recommend. I already finished reading it, but I have to read it for one of my classes last year. And to me, it was very actually life-changing. And I know it sounds really weird. It's super challenging if you ask me about it. The book is called A People's History of Christianity, and it's written by Diana Butler Bass. And so, just to give you the main premise of the book, basically it's like a novelized story of the start of the church from when Jesus ascended up until about 10, 15 years ago. And it's really good. It's very, I think, convicting. Gives it a good overview of. It doesn't go into super detail on a lot of theologians per se, or a lot of huge events. But what it does is it basically talks about what was the church, what were Christians doing in specific eras of time. Oh. And so for the first 100 years of the church, while we know we had the apostles, and we had their immediate disciples, and we had the start of the church, what were the people, the Christians themselves doing? How were they living their lives?
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, and so it goes kind of every couple hundred years in brackets, and it does talk about some early theologians and church fathers, Irenaeus, Constantine, stuff like that. But it doesn't go into much detail on their individual lives, because since they're so well documented, it's so easy for anyone to just go and research that type of stuff. That would be the book I would recommend definitely to read. It's actually, go ahead, yeah.
I have a couple questions actually, because you piqued my interest. So do they talk about Polycarp, Athanasius, or any of those guys, early fathers, or anything like that?
I don't remember that they mentioned Polycarp, but Athanasius sounds very, very familiar, so I think it might be through there.
Okay, so you're talking about day-to-day living for Christians during those eras?
Yeah, and basically he goes into the details on what it actually means, what it actually meant for the Christians at that time to be a Christian. Especially in the first 300-400 years, when there's a lot of persecution, there's a lot of martyrs, things of that nature. It's talking about what made Christians Christians. How were they living their lives?
And why was this convicting for you?
There is quite a bit of, I don't know, just a lot of different things. So one, I don't want to go into detail of it because that will take a lot of time. But one specific thing is kind of nationalism and patriotism. It talks about the Christian perspective and the approach, especially right in the beginning of the church, and what that was towards nationalism and patriotism.
Ooh, man, this sounds very cool. I have a question about that.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean for Christians in the first century about patriotism? Because you have people saying God bless America, God's country kind of attitude, kind of a thing, and if you're not a patriot, then you're not a real American, or you're not a real Christian, or things like that. So I'm curious. So how did the first century view patriotism? How did they define that?
Honestly, I will. This is giving a big spoiler alert for the book, but it's only in the first 2 or 3 chapters. But basically, the approach for Christianity was they were anti-nationalism, anti-patriotism,
okay,
and anti-militaristic.
I like it.
And so it's in that regard, it was very convicting because today in the church, there's so much, nationalism, patriotism, militarism.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to I'm not trying to say oh, these churches suck or whatever, but I'm saying when we study our history, I think it really provides us a deeper look and perspective on our faith and how it's kind of changed throughout time.
Dude, that sounds like a fascinating book. Okay, so what's the name of it again?
The People's History of Christianity.
There you go.
It should be relatively cheap. I think it should be probably 12 or 13 bucks. It might be even cheaper through Kindle. It's very I would say it's very light reading. It's not super, super hard. Big font size. There is a lot of pages as far as the page count, but like I said, because there's a lot of spaces in between the pages and the font isn't tiny or anything like that, I would say if you're dedicated to it, you could probably finish it in a week or so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's not super, super challenging to read at all.
Any other recos?
Let's see. There's always recommendations I can make. Okay, the game that everyone should always be playing, in my opinion, is Uncharted 4, but only if you played the first 3.
Teo, is there a response? I don't play video games, so.
Oh, I have not played. I've not finished any of the Uncharted games, so I have nothing to say. I hear they're good, and I want to play them, but I don't have the game. I may get the trilogy if I start working and get a job and get money. Why not? I heard it's good.
Okay, I'll give you a little secret, and listeners, you can listen up to this too. At the Redbox machines, they sell games used. And last time I checked, the Uncharted trilogy for PS4 was only $9, which is a pretty...
That can't be true.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I don't know if they still have any in stock. You'd have to double check, and every Redbox is different. But
I mean, if that was true, like, dang.
that's what I'm saying. The only catch is that it doesn't come with a case. They'll give you one of the Redbox cases. But just saying, for all the listeners there, any of you are into video games at all, Redbox is a great way to find really cheap used games. Once a month, they really update the prices to be super cheap. So
there you go. That's I think if I were a gamer, that would be like great news to me, considering how expensive these are.
Yeah, that's true. And like, if I'm assuming anyone who's a gamer is going to be part of the Reform Gamers group as well, and so you guys know that I post deals like crazy in there. So
yes, you do. I got a question. Jess, what's his last name again? Jess.
Sinop.
Yes. He's bringing some of that gamer swag into our room or something, right? Because apparently, well, I don't know. Apparently, he has a reputation. It
has nothing to do with gaming stuff. It has to do.
But that reputation is coming from the gamer group, right? Or how do we know this about him? Yeah, okay. He was crowned Master Otaku this week because he knew the trivia question about JoJo.
He did?
Yeah.
Did he read
well, I gave him 2 clues. Yeah, so he figured it out, I think, from the clues. But yeah, he figured it out. I don't know if that title should be revoked, monthly or, to see who gets it next month. But yeah, he is the Master Otaku in the Reformed Anime Hub right now. Otaku-sama.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're done with your recos, Teo, do you have any recos?
I do. We're 45 minutes, so I'll try to keep it.
Okay.
Game-wise, I know I talked about Overwatch. It's still lots of fun. I'm playing it on the Xbox One, which I know is very casual for a lot of people. I want to get it on the PC. I just don't have a good PC. So if any of you guys want to play some Overwatch with me, my gamer tag is Megalon7, Megalon 7. And if you have it on Xbox One, then we can play. And other game recommendation would be the Fallout 4 Nuka World DLC. I know it's either last or 2 times we recorded, I recommend the Fallout 4 Vault Workshop, and this is the next DLC. And it's basically imagine Disneyland, except it Fallout style.
Oh man,
it got bombed. So it's got bombed and it's overrun by raiders. So it's it's first thing we've seen like it in Fallout. I've never played Fallout 1 and 2, the original point and click games, but I'm pretty sure this is like one of the first amusement park type levels. Lots of fun. And those are my recos.
All right, so that wraps it up for the recos. Boys, I think we're done.
Awesome.
Sweet. All right, everybody. Okay, what?
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this podcast. I'd love for you guys to give us more feedback on what you guys think of this, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to, kind of change. We want your perspective from it. What do you think of what do you guys think of our the slab? Oh, wait. What do you guys think of our slab recommendations? What do you guys?
The slab segment.
Yeah, the slab segment. What do you guys think of our Hunter review? Just tell us. But yeah, that'll be all.
And until next time, sayonara and amen.
Amen.